Hello, happy stampers, and welcome to my happy stamping studio. My name is Judy Anderson, and I hope to inspire you to create with your stamps every day. So, as promised, last week I created a card, and let me grab the card for you. I promised to do a scrapbook layout this week, and here's the card that we did, and I used the Inbound Beauty 12 by 12 designer series paper for the background, and we embossed the back and embellished it. So today we're going to be doing a scrapbook page, and I used last week for my card, I used a pool party base. And so I decided to use a base of pool party for my scrapbook pages. Now this is a 2-page layout. It knew it was going to take a little bit longer, so I went ahead and did some die cutting. We are going to do a little bit of die cutting today. But please, as you come on, say hi. Let me know where you're coming from, and let us know what you're doing today. I always love to hear what my viewers are doing before they got on with me. And we are going to be also using the Friends for Life stamp set and dies. And you're going to notice I already cut out the friend, and I cut it out in Lemon Lime Twist and Summer Splash, but you guys are going to vote on which one I'm going to be using today. So, ready to get started? First, I am going to, I've got a bunch of pieces here. I've got this piece here that we're going to cut out. And so you guys are going to be doing some voting. So stick around, make sure you vote. Let me know what to use. We are going to cut out this heart out of this piece of designer series paper. This was a scrap I had. It fit perfectly. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and use it. So we're going to go ahead, and that is going to be the heart base. So the next, the first thing you're going to vote on is if I should use Pretty in Pink or Peach Pie as the detail that lays on top. Now, before you vote, I am going to, oops, this didn't quite cut out. We get two pieces. So we have this large heart here and the small heart, the inside. So we can use both. We're going to set that one. My intent is to use this piece here. I'm going to hold it up. So as you see, it's got a peach pie and Pretty in Pink in it. So the detail that's going to go on top is this. So that designer series paper is going to peek through, but before you vote, don't get that voting out yet. I'm going to share with you the designer series paper that I'm using on the layout. So we're going to be using these two patterns. Okay, so we're going to have this heart. So do we want to outline or put that detail in the peach pie or the Pretty in Pink? We are tying Pretty in Pink. There's no wrong or right answer for this. So just let me know. So vote on Peach Pie or Pretty in Pink. I'm going to go ahead. We have two 12 by 12 pieces here of Pool Party. I'm going to put those to the side. And we are going to begin cutting some of our cardstock while I'm waiting for votes to come in. So we have some 6-inch strips that are 2 inches. I also have one that is a 1-inch strip. So what I'm going to do, whoops, first of all, drop my die. I'm going to grab my paper trimmer. Oh, I'm going to grab my small one. And we are going to cut off 1 inch on these. So I'm going to go up this way to the 1 inch and slice it. We've got that. So we're going to do that to all these 2-inch pieces. Just cutting 1 inch. So once again, these are 2 by 6. So we're cutting it into a 2 by 1 and a 2x5 piece. This one is 1 inch. I'm going to cut this one. I know I'm using that on the other side. And then this one I'm going to cut at 1 inch also. Now you could choose any length you wanted. I'm just doing this 1 inch. I do need two 1 inch by 6 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the 1 inch this way first. Just thought that I would do this while you guys are voting. So, oh, my computer is giving me some warnings here. So hello, Janet. Janet's coming from Ontario, and she's relaxing after a card workshop she had. Ooh, I'm sure you guys had lots of fun. So we are going to cut these at 1 inch also. We have two that measure, of this one that measure 1x5 and 1x1. Okay, so Janet says she thinks either. Okay, well, let me put this together a little bit to show you what we are going to be doing. So I'm going to put these this way, and this is going to be on here this way, and this is going to be on here this way. Okay, so we're going to line these up, and I do have, for photo mats or journaling, I've got some 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 squares. So we're going to line those up the center. And I like the basic white on this. If I had done a white 12 by 12 and used an 8.5 by 11 pool party, I perhaps would have changed my mats. So we're just going to get these on here so they are kind of centered. There we go, like that. Now, I do have a quilter's ruler. I'm going to show you guys a little trick. If you don't have a quilter's ruler, you could use a strip of paper. So I'm going to take these off here on the left-hand side because I want to line these up. I want to line these up so they are 2.5 inches. So I'm just going to line that line up to the 2.5 inches. I'm going backwards. So 2.5 inches this way. And it is 12 long. So I know my 6 inches is the center. So I'm going to go ahead and lift these up. I'm going to take a little bit of adhesive. Now, my tip for you, first tip for you today is to use a little bit of adhesive first so you can adjust. So we know that this is 2 inches. And so 2, that'd be a 1, 3 3/4. So I'm going to kind of center it there. Okay. So I'm like right there. Okay, so then I'm going to take the next one. And this is keeping them lined up from the side. And then I'm just eyeballing this. I find that instead of being exact measurements, it's too stressful for me. I figure if I eyeball it and it looks even, anybody else that looks at it is going to think it looks even also. Now I'm paying attention to the reveal between the space between these squares here. I'm not looking at the top and the bottom. It is off a little bit, but that's a-okay. Nobody's going to notice it. So those are lined up. See how easy that was? So now we're going to take our strips and we are going to just butt them up along here. So this is a good trick if you have 6x6 designer series paper. Now I want to line that up across. So I'm going to go ahead and just take a piece of paper, make sure it's straight there. And if I line this up to the top there, it's going to be lined up. Okay, that first piece I'm not too worried about. It's that second piece, and oh, I could use either side on this. Like bright I'm going to line this one up here. Grab my other piece here, and I can line it up to the top or bottom. So I'm making sure that my piece of paper is lined up there, and then I can just line this up. And I do want to make sure my flowers are all going in the right direction. So just butting that up there. Now we're getting to this last piece. How many of you are getting nervous? Oh no, what's she gonna do? Well, I could either use my quilting ruler or plain ruler, or I could just grab another piece of cardstock that I have laying around, or a piece of paper that I have laying around. Make sure it's tucked across there. My pattern is going in the right direction. And we have that. So that's the beginning of our layout. Okay, I'm going to go to the next page because I want to line the things up on there. This page is going to be a little bit different. And I haven't really decided where things are going. I just knew my layout. So on here, I've got one long piece of basic white. And I want you guys to vote. Do we want lemon lime twist leaves or do we want summer splash leaves? Okay, so this is for the leaves. While you're voting on that, I'm going to go ahead because we got the vote for the pretty in pink. I'm going to go ahead and cut that piece out first. Let me get my pieces here. I have a feeling I might need to trim this a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and cut around this heart so it fits through my machine. I was going to use the regular cut and emboss machine, and then I decided, well, the mini fits on my table better here, so that's what we're using. Remember to stair step those platforms and the acrylic plates. I'm going to come back just because I don't want to reach over the other side. Okay, and get that up. Okay, I guess I should have cut this out too. I forgot to leave space, but I think I may have left just enough space for that. So we're going to cut that out. Get all these pieces off my cutting plate. So you want to make sure if you trim a piece of cardstock that you leave enough for this frame also. And I think I left just enough. So we can't move that. It moved just a little bit. Don't want to cut it off. I know I could use a Post-it note, but I don't. Okay, so we're going to cut that out. Okay. So what we're left with is this piece right here. Okay. And remember that heart we cut out? We're going to put this over the top. And it does show. Okay, so I'm going to take my silicone mat and a little bit of our liquid glue and get that glued on there. So we've got Summer Splash. Oh, I've got a lemon lime twist. Either will do. Oh, I got another lemon lime twist. Okay. Lemon lime twist is winning so far. So I have just a little bit of glue. I don't have to glue the entire thing. Just going to put this so it outlines and we have that pattern on there. Okay, I did have a little bit of glue squish out, so when that dries, I will use my rubber eraser. Okay, so we have Summer Splash and lemon lime twist. I need to stamp next, and I'm going to stamp some leaves at the base of this. So, okay, we have 2 lemon lime twist and 1 summer splash. So we're going to go ahead. Now I'm going to eyeball this, and this piece is 4.5 inches. So if I go to the 2 1/4, 1, 2 1/4, and kind of line this up, it's going to be pretty centered. So we're going to do that one there. And then this one I can just kind of line up in the same area. And it doesn't have to be exact. Okay, so we have that. Now I am going to cut on the bottom of this. So this piece I intend for a mat for my photo, plus just a little bit of a decorative. Now you could stamp these and die cut them, but I wanted the edge of this piece to go along this. Now this is going to be a little bit more challenging for me to cut because it's the opposite in my brain. Since I'm right-handed, goes right-handed. So to me, I should go from top to bottom. But this is a-okay. Kind of works out. And like I said, it doesn't matter if that is even. So we just did a little bit of a decorative thing on this piece here. Okay. So we're going to get our second page out and our pieces. We have this. Now, this page does not have to line up with the other page unless you want it to. So this time, instead of doing 2 of the floral and 1 of the kind of white washed pattern, we are going to use 2 and 1. And these are going to go the opposite. So, like I said, depending on how you're going to lay this out, if you center it, and if you want to line up your other strips, I'm going to show you my trick for that. First, I'm going to go ahead and lay this one out. And I want that on there straight. So let me get my adhesive here. Oh yeah, I've already lost my adhesive. Here it is. Oh, how many of you do that? Tell me, how many of you are scrapbookers? Let me know if you are a scrapbooker. I am going to go over 2 inches here and just kind of, yeah, that's stuck already. The up and down, I'm actually going to bring it down a little bit. Okay, so I'm not centering this one. So I have less space at the bottom of the page. So if I was going to line this up, which I don't have to because, excuse me, we're using 1-inch strips instead of 2-inch strips, and I did that intentionally. We could just put these pages together and then figure out how we wanted to line it up. Okay, but I am not going to line them up. I'm intentionally going to do them offset. Okay, so I do want to line this page up, and I don't want them to line up here. Let me get into here. I don't want them to line up exactly here. I'm going for the centers. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my top and my bottom and eyeball this. And I'm going to eyeball it so that I am about in the center of that space between my mats. So there's going to be a little bit of rhyme and reason between this. And then the center one will be centered with the other one. Okay, and this one We're going to line it up here, pick it up here. Looks pretty centered. It doesn't have to be exact because remember, we're going to be putting photos and other things on. Okay, so I have those two on there. So I'm going to center this one between these two. And once again, I am just eyeballing it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I just lost my dies. And I'm going to do the same thing here as I did on the other side. So just going to line those up. How many of you do this little trick when you're lining things up? Make sure it's up. Okay, takes very little time. Just want to make sure that you're straight right along there and holding your paper straight. There. Then I'm going to line this one up to the bottom. It's lined up. And line that one up to the bottom. Didn't get that one on straight though, so let's redo that. Okay, so we have the base of our 2 pages. Now this is going to be a best friends layout. So I want to stamp best. Okay, and I have that here. Oops. And so we are going to stamp it in Summer Splash because you guys voted on the Lemon Lime Twist. So let me get my Summer Splash ink. This looks crooked to me. Hang on. See, that's why I don't always go by a ruler. C1 and a half. Well, yeah. Oh no. It's straight according to the ruler, so my eyes must be off today. Oh. Okay, we're just going to stamp the best on here. Hold it because it's a solid image, so we want that ink to absorb into that paper. Okay, I'm going to get my paper trimmer and I'm going to trim around that. This way I can, okay, we're going to do it this way first. So we can go off of that edge. And right there. And let's make sure this edge is straight. Okay, so there's our best. Now, I'm using the die for the friend. And oh, I should have done this reverse. So I'm changing this a little bit. So it's going to be best friends. Now you're going to vote again. This is all going to come together in the end. Do you want the friend to be the Summer Splash? Or do you want it to be the Lemon Lime Twist? It's hard to see. So there's the Lemon Lime Twist. And here is the Summer Splash. So let's vote on that. So Janet, you're only a card maker. Oh, you need to try a little bit of memory keeping. So fun. Okay, so we did our heart in Pretty in Pink. So I am going to do these hearts in Pretty in Pink. We're going to add that to that. Okay, now like I said, it says best friend, not friends. So I want to do an S. I'm going to do the S from here. So depending on what color you vote, Okay, I have one lemon lime twist, two summer splash. Okay, summer splash it is. So I am going to take the best again, and I am going to take a scrap of white or basic white, and I am going to stamp that. Now, I don't want to stamp on my mat here. So I've got a scrap piece here. Stamp it right on there. I only want the S. Okay, I actually started my journey with Stampin' Up! With scrapbooking. My friends had started me, I'm just fussy cutting this out. My friends had started me scrapbooking, and I was so frustrated going to the store, finding all the stuff I wanted, and I get home and the stuff wouldn't coordinate together when I picked out pattern papers, cardstocks, embellishments, and I really got frustrated. And I had just about given up when I was introduced to Stampin' Up! And they won me over with their coordinating everything, their products. So that's how I got started. So I was a scrapbooker first and a card maker second. Okay, so we need to glue this on our base here. Oops. You can also take a sponge, dauber, and daub some glue onto your letters. You can use our adhesive sheets, which is what I usually do, and I did not take it out. Let me grab this so I can put it down. So I just put little bits of glue. It's much easier when you have something to rest that on. Okay, so I'm going to take my friend, and I'm going to put that right in the center. And it lines up. You might have to finagle that end just a little bit because it likes to move. Now that remember I told you on my dies, I kept those little pieces. Well, I didn't know what you would choose, so I kept one of each. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little dab of glue. We did this last week in my card. Just a little dab of glue. I'm going to remove some of that glue because this is a really tiny piece that goes on there. And just place it on just like that. Okay? So now the fun begins. We get to start decorating our page. So once you have the base of what you want, you can just play from there. And I am going to try to get both sides on. Okay? Move this to the side. I'm going to see this is a little tacky, so let me get that rubber eraser, and it's going to take up that excess glue that kind of smooshed out because I got a couple places a little too thick. Okay. We do not carry this rubber eraser. No, sorry. Actually, I think you can get it at an office supply store. Is your best bet. I used to find them all over, but they're a little bit harder to find now. Or you could wait till it's really dry and take your finger, but this is done to this point. Okay, so we're going to decorate. These are our 2 pages. You're going to see 1 page at a time. So let me get all our die cuts. We're just going to throw it on this sheet. So I was thinking that I would put this heart here, and you guys had said you wanted the lemon lime twist. Oh, should have more than 3 of those, hopefully. And I just want to put them on the page, kind of like this. So they're coming out from that. Now, you can, if you wanted to, you could put this on this side because then you'd have more room for more photos. So it just depends on how many photos you're planning on. Now I make my scrapbook pages up ahead of time. So I am actually going to do this way. I'm going to let it go over where the picture goes. Okay, so that's just going to add some details. This we're going to go ahead and put over here. So where it overlaps over where the photo goes, your photo mat, I'm not adding glue there. So I'm going to add glue on the left side of my leaves. So when I turn it over, that is the right side of my leaves. So I'm just doing a very little bit in my big open spaces. Okay, I'm going to flip that around and let that go right there. This one, I'm doing the left side. So the opposite because it's going facing down. So just be careful when you're adding your embellishments to your pages and making sure that you know which way they're going. There we go. I'm going to have that one go that way. My fingers are sticking, so it's sticking to my fingers. Okay, now our heart, I am going to put on with a dimensional. And the reason being is because I'm going to be able to tuck a photo. If I want, I could tuck a photo next to it. So we're going to one dimensional right here on this side and adhere that there. Okay, ooh, that kind of blends in, doesn't it? Maybe we'll put it up here. We're going to put it up there instead. Okay, so we're not done with this page yet. Almost. Let's pick out this other page. And I thought I had more than 3 die cuts. Oh dear. Okay. It's okay. Let's get this. I thought I had 5 of these die cuts. We'll just have to cut a couple more. Okay, we have this outline of this heart, remember? Look at guys. I can put that behind here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to layer it, whoops, so it comes out of the top, and we'll do it the opposite way. We're going to have it peeking that way. Okay, and let's do the best here. And I think I lost my S. Friend. Here. So this is going to be my main photo right here, okay? And I can always put a smaller photo up here. I can put a smaller photo here, my main photo here. So I am just going to lift up a couple of these pieces here because when I picked up my pieces, some of them kind of flew. Okay, so we're going to pretend I have more of these. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this. So I want this best sticking up. And here's another little trick. I love teaching you guys tricks. There's my S. I am going to take and put my dimensional here. I want to grab my silicone mat because remember this won't stick to the silicone mat. And I want to tuck this in like I want to put it onto my page. Okay, now I made sure that that dimensional stuck to that heart right there. Okay? So now I can take a dimensional on the other side and put it here, and then I only have to tack that heart where it is peeking over the best. So I am actually going to put it on my page first. I'm going to put that right like that. And I want that to tuck over. So I'm going to just add a little bit of glue. Very little glue, you guys. Some of you say that you hate this glue because it gets all over. Well, that's because you use too much glue. It's very, very little. This glue is so strong. I'm going to tape that down there. Hold it for just a second. Actually, I'm going to put my glue bottle on there. Okay, so we have friend. And I think I'm going to add a little something to that. So we're going to go ahead and add some glue to the friends and see how much bigger this die is. So it's much easier to glue down. Best friend. And I think I want a circle. Okay, or an oval, or a heart. I'm hoping this heart is big enough. I'm going to punch out of the Bee Builder punch. Remember we used this punch a couple weeks ago. Did we use it last? We used it last week for the high. Okay. So we're going to place the F on here, which it works. Sometimes I get lucky. Okay, I'm going to put that on here. I want to make sure you know it's a heart. I'm going to put this up with a dimensional also. I don't know. Yeah, I don't put much dimension on my pages because your book gets thick, I feel, and sometimes there. That's, you know what? I wonder if I can sneak that underneath there. Oh, I got it on there. Let's twist a little bit. Let me get my take your pick tool. Could you imagine how long this live would have been if I didn't do some pre-cutting for you guys? We're going to just tuck that under. Just like that. Okay, so the background is pretty plain. Yeah, we could add this here. I'm just going to add some glue up the center of this one because that's going to give me some flexibility with pictures. I'm going to overlap that just a little bit. So our focal point on this page is right in the center of the page. Okay. Now, if I had more green leaves, we could perhaps put one over here. And we could have actually, had one tucking out from underneath here if we wanted. But I don't like, what I'll do a lot of times is I'll cut out extra pieces and put it with my pages. So when I get my pictures, I have them and I can add to it. Okay, so it's pretty plain background. Here's this side. Let me see if I can move this up so that we can see it a little bit better. Here we go. There we go. A little bit better here. So here's that page. And then here's this page. And so you can put pictures here. You can put pictures between here. There's lots of pictures. You can journal here. We could stamp some hearts if we wanted in the background. It would be totally up to you. I have actually punched out or die cut out some of the smaller hearts. Oh, here's the pretty and pink ones. I have some peach ones also that I could scatter around also once I get my pictures on. So I hope you guys enjoyed this today and hope to see you next week. Until we meet again, everybody, happy stamping.